Welcome back to the Pink Floyd Collectors YouTube channel. So today I thought we'd have a look at the second Pink Floyd The Wall tour book. This one stems from 1981. Pink Floyd had of course returned to do the show, performing 8 dates in Dortmund, West Germany at the time, starting on February the 13th. They then performed it 5 times in June. So a little bit of a gap and then returned. The purpose of the second shows, especially the ones in London, was to get some footage for the movie. They were still looking at the time for using live footage from the show. Of course, Alan Parker challenged that idea and they went forward a different way. But that was the whole reason for the second lot of dates in London. So let's have a look. Much like the first, it's very pictorial. There's not really much information in here in terms of show direction or credits. But certainly if you like or enjoy Gerald Scarfe stuff, it's an interesting tour book for that. It's very different. The format's almost totally different from the 1980 version. So the screaming face on the front. And then almost like a chalk drawing. Now these actually stem from Gerald Scarfe's early drawings for the film. So you can see here that the film is in some kind of production. He has put these forward to Pink Floyd and where he sees some of his ideas and how he wants to explore them in animation. And you will see that quite a few times. Even this wall maze does appear. So the credits are pretty straightforward, still including Richard Wright here. And he's still amongst the other band members. It doesn't make any reference to the fact that he's no longer in the band and is a paid performer. It just lists him as... and in fact, you could say this is very much showing that it's Roger's project. It's saying The Wall, written and directed by Roger Waters, performed by... It's not even saying Pink Floyd. It's just mentioning a whole host of musicians and then the backing vocalists. It does list David Gilmour as a musical director. And of course, Gerald Scarfe taking up the reins as the art director and sound mixing. Somebody we've got to know quite well over the years, James Guthrie. And then a whole host of other credits, including Pink Floyd's management, Steve O'Rourke, Emka Productions. It does also include the credits outside of Roger, which were Young Lust, Comfortably Numb, Run Like Hell with David Gilmour, and then The Trial with Bob Ezrin. So that's page 3. You will notice I've got 3 different copies here. They're all bashed about the same amount. And I have gone through all these and they're all exactly the same. Now one of these does stem from Dortmund. So I presume on this particular tour, the tour books didn't change at all. So again, some more preliminary sketches by Gerald Scarfe offered here for the audience at the show. Then we have the first of some pictures taken at the shows from the previous year. So this one is the typical hotel scene with Roger speaking into the window, as it were. And then from the previous year at Earl's Court, the mother inflatable. And then a screaming wife, Gerald Scarfe painting. And again, the mother, inflatable from a side angle, just catching Roger there with his bass. Quite a nice photo that, again, from one of the shows in 1980. We've then got the lyrics with the crossed hammers. Another photo of Roger with the wireless mic. Some nice imagery here again from Gerald Scarfe. Now, this would, of course, been before the scene was shot, but those of you who have seen the Wall movie will recognise this, where the shadow kind of grows out from the groupie. And that leads to the violent scene where everything's smashed and the window's broken. And again, I think it's one of my turns from memory. Again, the image there. So these are, like I say, these are, what would they call them? Like preliminaries, just to help Alan Parker with direction of the movie, I guess. Further lyrics. Some more photos. from the show. Obviously David Gilmour during Comfortably Numb, high up on the wall. Nick Mason behind the drums. I think this is coming towards the end of the show, isn't it? Just before it closes out, and that's when that final brick is put in. Goodbye Cruel World. The animated flower scene. And again, these preliminary paintings that you will recognise did form part of the movie. The black pig floating above the crowd in Earl's Court from the previous year. And then the flags, Roger, and then the wife inflatable. A nice photo here of David and Roger singing Young Lust. I think this one's typically from the beginning of the show, where you've got the pink model just sat there waiting for the show to begin. And then the finale after the walls come down. And again, I think this is from Earl's Court in 1980. And that's it. And then there's the rear photo, a group band stage encompassing the whole of the wall at the time. So that's it, the 1980 Pink Floyd The Wall tour book.